You are now tuned into the Low Key Thriving podcast. We're creating a space for growth, prosperity, and wholeness through a multidimensional approach is our thing. So stay locked in. I have a lot in store for you. So this episode, I definitely wanted to touch on a subject that I want to call the common denominator. Because it's something that I've noticed in, the social media comment section that, it's a characteristic I feel like some people lack. Maybe they didn't pick up on this life lesson in their homes as a child. Maybe this is just something that their parents just didn't pour into them, but it has many nicknames. Some people say, handling their business. People who are 100, as we like to say nowadays. People who are honest. Accountability. Do you basically not just celebrate your wins and your losses? Well, not celebrate your losses and honest about your losses, but are you doing what's right when the time presents itself? Even when it doesn't necessarily make you look all that great in the moment, but you tend to rise above because that's how you were raised. It's the right thing to do. So, without further ado, it goes without saying, I feel accountability starts with you. It starts with the person within, home base, step one, the foundation. You can't expect anyone else to be honest and hold themselves accountable for their actions if you don't do the same. You have to be the example, be that leader. You have to essentially take that role of leadership. I feel like it's a role of leadership, a skill, and sometimes be that example that some people may not have seen in their life, in their earlier years. You definitely want to set the tone and model the behaviors that you want others to see and do around you. So yeah, if you say you're going to do something, keep your commitments. If you're interested in a project, do your part. If you fail to do so and you don't really come with it, say so. Just say it, And I feel like people will respect you more if you did that versus trying to save face to make yourself look good. Because little do you know, people notice. They see it, and they may not be able to identify it as lack of accountability, but they understand and what that kind of move was. And it definitely doesn't, to me, set you up to be on a path of success. And that's why I call it a leadership skill. In order to, essentially move on to things that could really change your life, you got to be able to acknowledge the wins as well as the losses. And then with that, acknowledging your losses, your weaknesses, your failures, you got to take accountability for them and say, I didn't do my best, or this wasn't my all, or this wasn't the best I could do, but I'm going to go back to the drawing board and I'm going to give it another go. I definitely feel like when you do that, people will respect you more. And I felt like in my journey of accountability, of learning what accountability is, I definitely saw others around me doing the same thing. They were more honest about where they were. and they were more honest about the areas where they could have done better, whether it's before, in the midst, or after. So definitely, before you expect anyone else to do it within yourself. In doing that, in the foundation, acknowledging that you are the first step of accountability. Understand that this is just a part of what it is that you have to do to be that said leader. And I don't want it to be just about leadership skills, because I feel like accountability is such a vast idea or philosophy. It's not something that you can just apply to work or business opportunities. I feel like accountability is just as important in relationships. Is there a leader in relationships? From my opinion, yes, but some people say, no, everything is 50-50. Whatever you believe. What I'm saying is, when you take accountability in this sense that is outside of the workplace, when you hold yourself accountable, other people around you will tend to be more accountable for their actions. So when it starts with you, it's kind of contagious. And people see it as, if they can do it, and I can do it too, because I want that same type of respect. Accountability is definitely, it's not a one-time thing. I don't want to say you should seek opportunities to hold yourself accountable, because that seems a little opportunistic, but in a negative way. But definitely take accountability when it works for you and when it doesn't work for you. That essentially comes off as unrealistic. You got your head in the clouds. You never see the error of your ways. You're not Jesus, you're not perfect, so I feel like it works to your advantage to be responsible, to be 100, to hold yourself accountable, whatever nickname you want to give it. It works to your advantage, because the more often that you do it, the more honest you are with yourself, and the more people respect you. So don't pick and choose when to hold yourself accountable. When it works to your advantage, do it sometimes when it may not make you look too great, and I feel like for most people, except for the big, deal breaker type situations, most people might take the high road. That's a big might with a pause. Yeah. Big might. But definitely, don't try to slip out of situations that don't make you look good. It comes off as narcissistic, and it comes off as someone who is out of touch with reality. Hey y'all, what's up? Liking what you're hearing so far on the LKT podcast? Be sure to follow us on social media at LKT Podcast, or you can check out my website at www.lktpodcast.com. Be sure to leave a comment or sign up in the email subscription box, or you can also send me any of your ideas on topics you want to hear in the future. I have a lot in store for you, a lot of things that you want to hear. So I don't mind mixing in some good ideas and juicy topics in between there. So be sure to check it out. Definitely, in your practice of holding yourself accountable, surround yourself with like-minded individuals, because accountability doesn't apply to just that one person who's working on self. Surround yourself with people who are on their own personal journeys of growth, whatever rate, whatever stage, whatever, pace they are at. try to surround yourself with people who like to hold themselves accountable as well, because then you see that you and this other person, y'all just won't let stuff just slide with each other. You know what I mean? Iron sharpens iron. You know, y'all are both saying, okay, and with grace, y'all are both saying, hey, I see the better part of this weakness in you, and I know you can rise above, so I'm gonna call you out on it, and I want you to go back to the drawing board and work on that. And I feel like it applies to all relationships. That's why I said it's just not a, it applies to all. Accountability applies to all. You can use accountability at work, in relationships, family relationships, intimate relationships, friendships. You know, I feel like when you surround yourself with people who hold themselves accountable, they're going to be their best self, and they're going to try to challenge you to be your best self as well. So definitely, if you ever choose to be around somebody who is not accountable for their actions, definitely click in your seatbelt, because that will definitely be a ride. Because who wants to be around somebody like that? That to me sounds stressful and toxic times three. Um, definitely don't pick and choose in that. Yeah, in that, surrounding yourself with people who also hold themselves accountable, like-minded individuals who are also going on their own personal journey of growth. Don't pick and choose who you're going to hold accountable for their actions. Like, let's say children. You know what I mean? Don't be hard on one child, niece, nephew, however, whatever your position is in this particular role. Don't hold one person to a higher esteem and then let the other person get away with murder. Like, essentially, and your friends. That can even apply to that. Don't always hold one friend accountable for their actions because they come off as a screw up child, whatever. Hold that friend that, always seem like they got it together too accountable. You know what I mean? Because that can give that person an air of, perfection, and no one is perfect. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying gut check everybody. I'm not saying gut check everybody, but I am saying, just like, if you see an area of someone you love, no matter the relationship, whether it be a loved one or a friend or a coworker, and you feel like they can rise above, challenge them to do better. And don't pick and choose based off of if this person is your favorite, this person let you borrow money from them, or this person does a lot for you, or this person is the matriarch or the patriarch of the family. I feel like gracefully you can let people know, like, hey, I expected more from you. I wasn't proud of that moment that you had in your moment of weakness, that you acted like XYZ. So definitely hold others around you accountable, and hopefully they take the step to rise up to your expectations. But don't be out here hard on people, y'all, now. Because everybody, like I said, it is a marathon, and some people just won't be receptive. So yeah. So in your journey of accountability, definitely understand the differences between your success and your failures. In your failures, of course, take on ownership for when things go wrong and find the solution. Try to figure out what you did that you didn't respond well in, or what you did that was probably a misstep or something that you said in error, and go back and try to rectify it. Don't try to leave things on the table unsaid, because you never know how somebody perceived that particular situation. You don't know how it affected them. Only if this relationship is important to you. Also, like in a work environment, if you're a part of something and you didn't do your part, definitely don't turn into a spectator, like a heckler or somebody who like to set themselves like on the outside looking in, like I ain't got nothing to do with this, but you were a part of it. I feel like if you're a part of something, and even if it wasn't you, yes, Lauren, even if it wasn't you, and you saw somebody doing something that wasn't their best of them, I hate to say it like that, but if you saw somebody doing something and you knew they were better than that, I feel like you can be an accountable person by saying, hey, that's wrong. That's wrong, sis. You didn't have to go out there and key that man car like that. You wrong for that. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't have to go out there and beat your kids for cussing. Because you cuss all the time. You cuss them out like 50-year-old sailors who smoked 30 packs of cigarettes a day. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel like accountability is such a not, I don't want to say vague, but such a wide category of something that I feel like a lot of people don't grasp, or they just don't see, or they don't want to see. Don't be a spectator to other people's lack of accountability when you know they can be a better person than that. And last but not least, my final point is definitely hold other people accountable around you. Friends, family, spouses, parents, children, all. Yes, all of them. Some people won't be receptive to it. Some people won't hear you. Some people might even curse you out. But at the end of the day, when they look back on it, I guarantee you they're going to say, so-and-so said I shouldn't have done that, or so-and-so tried to tell me I could have handled that situation better, but I didn't want to hear it. I feel like you'll do them a solid. You'll do them better by gently, gracefully, and some people hard, gut checking, however you want to put it. They can come back one day, even in the most difficult situations, even in arguments, and they'll come back and say, you were right. Hey guys, before you go, I want to make sure you follow me on social media. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at LKT Podcast. Again, that's LKT Podcast. Or you can head on over to my website at www.lktpodcast.com. You can sign up for my email subscription list, shoot me a message about any juicy topics you want to hear about, anything girl talk, we'll do that. Also, if I'm booked for any events, you can see it all there and just see what I'm doing. So make sure you head on over and you're following me so you can see what's going on. I feel like in my journey of accountability, and I don't want to come off like, I'm always telling people the wise words of Lauren, I can get you together. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I feel like, in those situations where I was telling someone, hey, that wasn't right. I saw better in you. I think you should have handled the situation like this because you're a bigger person than that. I challenge you, I charge you to rectify that situation. They may have not received it in that moment, or some people did. They eventually came back and were like, you know what? I didn't want to hear you when you said it, but you were right, you know? And when I did try that method and try that way to rise above, it worked out to my benefit. So I say challenge others to hold themselves accountable. Definitely don't be a spectator to others when they are not being their best self. Speak up, you know, and let them know like this is an opportunity for you to grow. Don't only acknowledge your successes as, you know, as a moment to win, because that's unrealistic. You know, no one is perfect. You have experienced some failures. They have experienced some failures. So definitely acknowledge that and find a solution around it. Do not pick favorites on who you're going to hold accountable for their actions. That favorite uncle, favorite auntie, that favorite son, that favorite daughter, favorite cousin. I don't want to say favorite well, yeah, if you single, you not married, yeah, your favorite uh dating person, partner, whatever. Whoever that person is, you know? If you see they got potential, hold them accountable for their actions. Absolutely. And always try to hold yourself accountable. Will we always get it perfect? No. But definitely try to look for that opportunity to be honest with not only yourself but with others, and see your error and fix it. And also understand that accountability, it starts with you. It starts with you. You are the building block. Before you can expect or call anyone else to do it, make sure you are exemplifying that same behavior in your actions, because if you can't keep your commitments and your responsibilities, how can you direct anyone else down that same path? So I definitely want to I just definitely want to talk about this with you guys, because I want to create more dialogue, you know, with you guys, and hear what you have to say about certain topics and subjects I bring up. Because typically when I have these type of conversations, there are, you know, others at work, you know, my friends, my parents, you know, my husband. Like, these are conversations that call for a lot of dialogue. So I definitely want to open this topic up to some form of dialogue with you guys and see what your experiences and thoughts are with accountability or lack thereof. Is this something that you see that we lack in the culture? Is this something that you see often and you don't know what I'm talking about? Or is it a little 50-50, a little bit of this and a little bit of that? Because my perspective, when I go into the comments on social media, I just feel like people are just not getting it. Do they have on these rose colored sunglasses and they just don't see the world for what it is? Did they miss this life lesson? You know, I have so many questions. And I don't want to see it as, you know, as only my view and my perspective. There are many views and perspectives to a lot of things in life. So I definitely want to see if you guys see the same or something different. As simple as that. Or if you just want to share your personal experience with accountability and your journey with how you know, found the resolution to that, or how you overcame that, and feel open to share, I would so love for you to do that. So yes, let me know what you guys think, and I can't wait to hear from you. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Low Key Thriving podcast. Be sure to check back for more episodes on things you love. Also, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at LKT Podcast. Again, that's LKT Podcast. All right, see you later.